All right, ladies, gentlemen, gamers, League of Legends enjoyers, we're here reacting to the third dev chat, the Midscope updates. I'm very excited to hear this one. I reacted to the other two dev chats already. The one about the state of the game, where they jacked themselves off and gave us information about what they're doing, which includes, I believe, introducing new tank items and stuff. And then they talked about player, I forgot what it was, but like basically like reporting and stuff. And they shared no information except they were jacking themselves off again. So hopefully in this one they're not going to jack themselves off, say how good they're doing, how they need room for improvement, how they're still trying to get better. Hopefully they actually give us some concrete details about stuff that's happening. Let's see. Ooh, 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 Katarina. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Malphite, where's Malphite? Where's Malphite? Ooh, there he is. Let's see what they're doing.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna buff Blitzcrank.
Oh my god, dude. This guy, I forgot his name. I forgot what his name is, but I follow him on TikTok. He is so funny. He is so funny. Oh my god. I think he's the lead of Balance. Oh my god, I'm really forgetting what his name is. And ironically enough, I'm remembering Morello because Morello used to be like the Balance guy. But it's not Morello. But this guy is actually funny. I think he's actually pretty funny. He's a little cringe, but he's pretty funny.
We're gonna buff Soraka. We're gonna buff AD Yumi.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, now the cameras are rolling, so we should probably get to our talk.
Okay.
So
yeah.
we're here to talk about Midscopes today. My
Okay.
name is Tim. I'm a designer on the Summoner's Rift team.
Okay.
I've done
Tim
a
looks
few
pretty
Midscopes in
cool.
the past, like Syndra, Swain, and a long time ago, Rammus.
Okay, so let me go over all of these. Syndra, decent rework. Increased her fantasy of late game scaling. Pretty good. Swain, I would say really good. If he was the one who brought back that the ulti is infinite, I think this guy is our guy. I think Swain's ult going back to being infinite duration if you're sucking an enemy champion, one of the best changes ever. Rammus, I think overall was pretty good. So far, this guy is 3 for 3. I think he's good.
And I'm here with my friends.
I'm
Who are his
Ezra.
friends?
I'm also a designer in the
Ezra,
Summoner's Rift team.
Phlox.
I do item balance system,
Oh god, he's the one who fucks with the items. Okay, I don't like this guy.
that kind of thing. Previously, I worked on Rengar as a midscope.
I don't know about the Rengar one. I heard it was good, but honestly, it was so long ago, I don't even know.
And I'm currently working on Nico.
I'm August.
I didn't even know Nico was getting one. Dude, August. Dude, Riot August, this guy is so fucking funny.
I'm the lead champion designer.
He's the one who makes all the OP champions. I hope he didn't make the recent ones like Neela and stuff, which have been underpowered. But like, let's see what he's done.
And Midscopes I've worked on is most recently Jax.
Okay, we don't know the Jax one. Hopefully they go over it.
And then before that, Talia.
Talia's midscope, I think, was pretty good. I think it helped a lot of her problems, but I really wish they just reverted things. I want to know who did ASOLs. I remember like they showed in the video, like the ASOL video I reacted to also on my YouTube channel, but I forgot who. But I heard they definitely, like a lot of the ASOL people definitely feel a little betrayed because they changed the identity of the champion.
And the first question we have to answer, which I'm sure is on a lot of players' minds, is what is a midscope and what sets it apart from balance work, DGUs, CGUs, ASU?
Yeah, we're getting so many different names now. So let me see if I could guess this, right? VGUs is the whole 9 yards. Visuals and gameplay. CGUs, I don't remember. I think that's just gameplay. ASUs is just art.
ABCs, whatever, letters, all that stuff.
Yeah, let's
Probably
see
the
what
best
this
way to
is.
say it, like in a big summary, is
Here, let's see.
VGU, Visual
Everything.
Gameplay Update, is kind of like a new champion. A Midscope is like refreshing a champion.
I'm trying to think of another midscope they did. I believe they did one to Victor. They did one to Annie. They gave some to Garen. They gave like a little midscope to Garen as well. Obviously, the ones they just mentioned, Syndra, Talia, them, they got midscopes. I don't know if Akali's one counts. I don't know if reworks count as midscopes. Because midscope doesn't change the champion to that extent. It just kind of makes a lot of really good quality of life changes. And it makes me question now, did Zeri go through a midscope? I don't think she did. I feel like she was right below the thing for midscope. But Zeri got changed a lot, but I wouldn't consider her thing a midscope because she's pretty much the same. Just the numbers are changed around.
So with the VGU, like say what we did with Pantheon or Aurelia,
Oh, yeah.
you got a very new champion out of that. You got
So VGUs are basically reworks.
New animations, new sounds, new VO, new kit.
Same thing that happened with Fiora too. Fiora, Skarner, now that I'm remembering more.
And that's an important part. Whereas a Midscope
I think a Midscope is what happened to Jinzhao, like right here, and a Mumu. I would think maybe a Mumu's one is considered Midscope as well.
is a lot more about refreshing a current character for its current players.
In its essence, it's taking the fantasy of a character. We're not making a new
Tom Kench got one too, yeah.
character. We're not making it fantasy and making it a 12 out of 10. Like, how far can we push this?
Mundo, I think, would be I think Mundo's was a VGU because they did do his visuals. I don't think Mundo's was a Midscope.
So that players feel like, oh, for Swain, I'm this huge demon bird that can be in the middle of their team. Or for Talia, that I'm actually an Earthweaver and I'm not punished by using my Q.
Wow.
And then the second part about Midscopes that's really
Sona got one, yeah. Sona definitely got
important here is that because they're on lower scope in terms
They could do them more.
of work, they're on shorter timelines.
Yes.
Some only take like 1 or 2 months.
Yeah, because it's easy. It's quality life. Literally, the community can make these. And I wouldn't be surprised if they take some inspiration from the community. The mains, more of the time, know exactly how to fix a champion more than Riot does. And I honestly believe it.
And which...
Riot might be better at numbers, though. But again, I had this conversation in one of the other dev thoughts. You shouldn't try to... I mean, you should aim for balance. But getting perfect 50-50 balance, like 50 win, 50 loss rate, like, you know, straight 50, is not good because the game becomes unfun. A perfectly balanced game is a perfectly unfun game.
Means we can get them out a lot faster.
So how do we go about finding a good target for a Midscope, right? Because there's a lot of different projects
I want to know how they choose who they choose.
we do.
That's what I want to know.
What defines how we find a target for VGU versus random patchwork that me and Ezra do on a 2-week basis?
Ezra.
When a character feels like they
Sivir got one,
maybe
yeah.
have lost their place in the
Yeah, maybe they're not fucking played anymore. Skarner.
game, where they feel a bit stale, they feel like they might not
They feel like they do nothing like Sivir except are an ulti bot.
have as much of a purpose
I think they gave Ashe a Midscope too, honestly. I feel like they gave Ashe one.
as they used to. A designer can look at a Midscope and say, hey,
You know what's crazy? Sivir got Midscoped, right? You wouldn't be able to tell by looking at this that she has a Midscope update. You would not be able to tell. You would still think it's old Sivir. If you took a time machine and took someone from before Sivir got Midscope updated and you showed them this, they would never know Sivir got the update.
is there some way to like really refresh who this character is in the game and what their place is in the entire league roster? In the past,
So Sivir's is like AoE.
we've
for
done
instance.
Midscope-like projects. A lot of them have been really good. We've done Xin Zhao, Tom Kench, Sona,
Easy.
Rengar. We've done projects like this. But
Yeah.
a lot of times
Yeah,
when we
yeah,
do
yeah.
like this level of work, it's framed in terms of problems.
So they don't do it just to fucking, you know, oh, this character hasn't been touched in a while. They're doing it because they're not fucking played.
Back in the day when we did the original work on Talia, that players said, Talia's a pro problem. We need to fix her for mid lane.
Not for jungle.
And we succeeded in that, but it was like kind of at a cost to Talia players, as opposed to possibly a benefit.
Yeah, the
And
character
so a
felt like
lot of
shit.
Midscopes are framed in terms of not problems, but
Oh.
opportunities.
Oh,
it's about asking
really?
the question, hey,
Oh, they
I
gave
see this
Ari one
character,
too.
and I see somewhere that they could be even cooler, even better.
Yeah, let's give
And
him
maybe we fix
mobility
some
and
problems
take away
along the way,
damage.
but
Yeah,
it's about
fun.
finding what's exciting about the character that we could really play up and enhance.
So exciting.
So you worked on Nico, you worked on Syndra. How do we select midscopes? Like, is there a method?
I don't think I know the Nico one. I hope I'm going to see it in the patch notes, which I'm going to react to later on live at Twitch TV/Tecnics channel.
to how we're choosing these projects.
The way I see it is, for the most part, it's strong passion for a character. Someone
Oh.
who's like deeply involved with
Anibot.
the character,
Anibot.
deeply interested in the character's success. They understand the character. You
Anibot.
know, some of these characters have been live for years and years and years.
Skarner.
So you've played them a lot. You truly understand the
Skarner.
failings and the
Aurelion
opportunity.
Sol.
I play
Aurelion
Nico.
Sol.
I used to play her a lot, actually. And I was just like, at
Yeah, he used to play her until she was shit.
the end of the day, I was like, this character isn't...
Isn't good.
I want
She's not
to have
good.
fun, and she's not letting me, right?
Yeah, she's not bursting people. I always say this with Nico. Nico has a lore identity crisis when it comes to her in-game abilities. If you switch Nico and Silas around a little bit, things would have been so much better. And think about why, right? Silas can take people's ultis. Why can he do that? Nico is a chameleon with Vastayan magic, right? So if anyone should be able to take it, it should be her. Her whole thing is copying other champions. Granted, this might be a nightmare for balance and clarity, which Riot really cares about, but like, think about it. Nico can turn into you know, she could disguise herself as an enemy champion. What's to say she couldn't take like their ability too, right? And then look at Silas. Silas is always in the fight. He's melee. He jumps on you. He wants to beat the shit out of you. Imagine him giving him Nico's ult where he stores magic and then just bursts it out on top of everyone like a giant fucking jizz. Like, I don't understand.
I want to do all these things, and I want to trick people, I want to catch people, and then I just can't, right? And
Like, imagine tricking people by, like, transforming into Garen. Garen ulting someone, right? Because you can't use any of his abilities. You can only use the ult. And if they see you use the ult, they're like, oh, you're Garen. Let's, you know, leave him alone. He's probably tanky. And then you turn back into Nico. They're like, oh, my God. You know, we fucked up. It was Nico. She was just pretending. Because she used his ult. Like, I think that's so cool. That would be so cool.
she's still fun, she's still fine, but she could be so much more.
That type of message is what we want to have for Midscopes, which is, it's not about problems, it's not about meeting a schedule.
Wow. The Nico did that, and I thought she was actually going to win, but she fucking got clapped.
Stuff like that. It's really about finding a fantasy and seeing if we can enhance that for the players, right?
Yeah.
That's what a Midscope is.
And sometimes like a midscope can come from like, you know, just years of players telling us something.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
yeah,
Swain
yeah.
players who, for a few years after his rework,
Bring
were like,
his fucking
hey,
toggle
I want to play
back.
this guy mid, and I feel like I can't play him mid.
Bring his toggle
And
back.
he was powerful mid in terms of win rate.
They didn't
But that
even
mean he
show
felt
him
powerful or
dying.
that he was
Wow.
super fun there. And we would constantly have Swain players telling us, it's like, hey, yeah, I can play this guy support. He's a cool support, but
that's the only thing. Yeah, it's so sad. It's so sad when people get reworked that they just end up getting relegated to support because they suck everywhere else. And you know what the other worst example of that is? Maokai. Granted, they did rectify it a little bit by giving him % health damage on his Q now, so he can go top lane a little bit. But realistically, the only place you're really going to see Maokai is still support.
what
Before his update, he was a top laner through and through.
about mid lane? I want that mid Swain back. And that was actually, I think, one of the inspirations for the work that ended up being done to Swain.
Swain is still a support, by the way. I do not see people going mid Swain. Top Swain, maybe I could see it. Maybe. Even then, I don't think top Swain's good. I think support is still his best role.
I think it's important to note that it's not other players who might like Swain. It's Swain players who feel like their character isn't working for them.
Yes,
the goal of Midscopes
that is
isn't
important.
Make a character
That
more
is
fun.
important.
Like, everyone will play this character. It's the players who love this character actually feel like
I like
the
how they're
character is
showing
working
him
for them.
bullying a
I
Veigar.
think there's probably a question of like, you've done Silas, you've done Tom Kench, you've done Sona, Sinjao. Why are you calling these things midscopes now? Like, what's the point?
So I
of
don't
that?
think they called them
By
before,
saying,
honestly.
hey, we're doing this project. They're called midscopes. This is the amount of resources.
Oh
that
my
we
god,
need.
the
We
Wukong
can
one.
plan
That
for
was
them
another one.
ahead of time,
Jesus.
so that when a designer, like say Tim, is like, hey, I want to.
Hey, look at Tim. I like the way he smiles. Hey.
Instead of us saying to Tim, hey, you can't do that. We don't have any resources to make a new queue. We can say, okay, we can plan for that. We can slot that in, and then we'll get it out to players in 2 months.
Look at that.
Now
Look
that
at
we've
that.
covered
Look
about
at
what
that brand.
Midscopes are and how we pick them out and what we want to do,
Can you tell
what
us the
can
new
players
ones?
expect
Yes.
in
Yes.
2023
This is what I
for
want.
Midscopes?
This is what I want.
This
yes.
isn't set in stone right now, but it's something we'd like to work up to. Is long term, if we could be shipping a midscope, say once every 2 months, then we could do things like put out a midscope roadmap for players. Say, hey, here's the midscope.
See, I don't think it should be something that is like that has to come out every 2 months. That's something that's kind of a little tricky because then what if no one needs it? I mean, granted, we're not at that point yet, right? But I don't want them to put this expectation like, oh, one midscope has to come out every 2 months. Because what if they quote unquote fix a lot of the champions that need the midscope and then they're just kind of reaching and just ruining champions for no reason? I hope we don't get to that effect.
We're thinking about this
that
year
would be
and
bad.
set better expectations for like maybe your character could get one. I think one thing that can be rough as a League of Legends player is if you think your character needs an update, it might be years before they actually get it.
That's
But
also
with
true.
Midscopes,
That's the
they
other side of
succeed
it. That's
similar to
also
a VGU
true.
in like revitalizing the champion without necessarily taking all that extra time.
Yeah, honestly, one of the biggest things that's needed in terms of like this stuff that they're talking about, it's the visuals. The visuals take a long time. Long time.
Which means we can do more of them.
So talking about expectations before we end, do you want to give us a sneak peek on
Yes.
what Nico's
Yes.
Midscope is going to
Yes.
be about?
Yes.
Nico, where is she?
Nico!
Well, I can give, so there's a lot of things going on in Nico.
Let's see this shit.
But I can give the one sneak peek, which is her passive, instead of just turning to other champions, is now other things. Anything.
This
She
is
can turn
ridiculous,
into
by
a
the
plant.
way.
She can turn into a demon mushroom. She can turn into a minion.
This is ridiculous.
monster,
This is
and a chip.
ridiculous.
Can she turn into a better teammate?
She'll actually probably be a worse.
Wow.
That's a core gameplay mechanic.
Dude, the fact that Nico could transform into the plant, you can essentially make League custom game prop hunt now with like a full team of Nikos. What the hell?
All right, so you have a Nico that turns into wards. Literally.
That's actually
coming to a rift
crazy.
near you. Hopefully soon.
There's
TM.
no way that's going to be balanced, by the way. That has to be either completely ass or completely overpowered. There's no way.
But that's all we have for today. Thanks
That's
for hanging
actually
out with
crazy.
Us, and, Thanks
Wow.
for playing with us on the Rift.
Ooh, you're
Enjoy your
welcome.
rank climbs.
Thank you.
Oh, I definitely will. I love the people. Anyway, honestly, not bad. We got a lot more information than some of the other ones, like the player behavior one. Overall, not bad. Anyway, I'm going to go react to more League content that I'm going to upload to the YouTube. I hope you enjoyed this one.